So I was start from when I was a child. I think I was diagnosed with the condition when I was 5 years old, and I think I've been living with the condition now for more than 30 years old. For more than 30 years now. Early life was okay because I had an understanding mother and a caring mother, caring family. You know, they always see to the fact that okay, I get my medications on time. See, you know, my doctor's appointment. I see to my doctor's appointment and all. But the turning point in my life was that when my mom died, I was age 11 then when she died. I never experienced any crisis as such, you know, when I was growing up until when she died. And then that care and attention, you know, got lost. So because of that disruption in the family, I was sent to a boarding house, a boarding school. So I was in boarding school for a whole year, and you know, me taking my drugs, I couldn't see my doctors and all. And then I started having the crisis and stuff. So I was not concentrating well in school, I was in poorly. And my dad had to pull me out, you know, from the school and take me back to Lagos. I think, yes, I was living in Lagos State back then. So after that, I was in the hospital for 3 months, you know, because I had a lot of complications, you know, blood transfusions, doing this, doing that. At the point in time, I couldn't even feel my body again. Every day, you come and take one blood sample and the other. It was a very trying time, you know, for me. I couldn't go to school, you know. I had to miss probably maybe a few months or a year thereabout, you know. So that hampered, you know, my growth and development. At that point in time, I was looking like maybe a 10-year-old when my classmates were, you know, looking like a 15-year-old, you know. So it stopped, you know, a lot of things, you know, in my life at that point in time. So even the people that cared for you, people that love you, you understand, because of the challenges, you know, that come with sickle cell anemia, they will say things, you understand, that will impact on you psychologically, mentally at the same time as well too. I'm sure many people will understand what I'm trying to say. You know, trying to like, oh God, why me? You know, if God truly cares for everybody, why is God giving me sickle cell anemia and then I have to go through all this condition? But of course, God knows best, and then He knows how to deal with each and every one of us. I have learned to know my stress, my triggers, so to speak. Probably maybe not expose myself to stress, not getting infections. When my friends are playing football, I know that I should not join them and play football and things like that, you understand? But that might not be the same, you know, for another person. But I know what the triggers were. You know, I have to drink lots of water, eat well as well too, and keep healthy. So basically, medical school it came with a lot of its challenges as well too. And I remember it was final year actually, my very, very last examination when I'm supposed to graduate out of university. That was when I now had the crisis. And I'm sure my guy here, my senior, he knows what university is all about in medical school. Once you miss your exams, you cannot do a retake. You have to come back and do maybe a resit exams. That's after 6 months. And if you fail that exam, you will repeat the class. So because I didn't want that, I had to go through the exams with the crisis. I went through all those things as well too. And of course, I became a medical doctor. And another thing that I'm grateful for is that I'm here today because of people like Professor Damola. Thank you very much. They took me to the residency program, which is also like going through medical school again and then experiencing the rigors like times 3 or times 4, because residency training is way more than the stress of undergraduate years. So of course, a lot of challenges came in during residency program, but they understood the plight of the sickle cell, people living with sickle cell. So they took care of me very well. You know, even when I was down, you know, I easily have access to them, and then they take care of me. You know, I went for my part 1 exams, same thing, part 2 exams. Even when I came back, because of the stress of part 2 exams, I also broke down as well. So that was in November. And I remember my professor telling me that you should not stress yourself too much so that you become first. You know, just go and pass the exam. That's the most important thing. So it's not for you getting the award. And I'm here today also to impact and also to share my experience with people, you know, that live with sickle cell anemia. So what I will advise is that children or people living with sickle cell will always stay hydrated. So that means anywhere they go, you should have a bottle of water with them. Then, of course, just it's a bit cold. You can see I'm putting on turtleneck. I have a shirt on as well too. So avoid cold, avoid heat. Understand? If there's any infection, maybe like malaria, treat it on time. Take your drugs properly. Listen to the hematologist. I know we have a lot of doctors in Nigeria. We have 200 million doctors in Nigeria. Everybody's a doctor. You understand? But please listen to your hematologist and your doctors. Take the medications. At the point in time, yes, Dr. Fakonin, yes, he's going to be professor very soon. He actually approached me and told me whether I was taking hydroxyurea. But at that point in time, I told him no. You understand? But with the recent events that I passed through, I started taking the hydroxyurea, and I believe it is working. It has done wonders because I find myself stronger than before. I've not broken down now in 3 months and things like that. You understand? So the drug is also very good. Take it as it is prescribed. You know, and then of course, sickle cell warriors need to eat very well as well too, because the condition actually makes them prone to infection. So once you eat well, you know, your immunity is also boosted, and then prevents the fact that you have to get sick and then break down. So those are the advices I want to give to mothers and people living with sickle cell anemia. The sky is not the limit. You can reach far beyond the skies. You understand? So we should not let sickle cell anemia, limit us or hamper us from becoming or aspiring to become what we have designed to be for ourselves.
Serious or intimate relationship. Intimate relationship that will lead to something else, which is sexual relationship. And there are outcomes of this behavior or activities of humans. And the result is what? Giving birth to our kind. And we'll be created to give birth to our kind. But there is a challenge in this area that we are calling genotype. The compatibility of genotype and blood group must be identified by all, and even the community to which the individual lives. So the burden is on all of us. But I say it's much on the individual. So we all have key roles to play to see that we provide maximum support and care to these people living with this challenge. So I call on us all. I tell you, it is not easy. Some are battling with economic situation. One more of taking care of, and it is a long-term or terminal issue. And then the financial body, the care that normally is extrain us, draw away our time, take away much of our time and energy to provide this care. And it's quite much with the economic situation that everybody is battling with. So the current sickle cell crisis interferes with the patient life, especially with regard to the following: education. Once you have a recurrent episode of crisis, the education must stop, isn't it? Because health is first. So in seeking health care, education has stopped. So they need encouragement, serious encouragement, so that despite their situation, they will be able to see the need to keep moving in life and not to stop. Because everybody must be encouraged to perform or to function maximally to the level that he could. And so what about the work? The work too suffer. The output of the work that the individual living with sickle cell anemia will give, and it entails, affect the domestic gross national income. But anytime you hear this person is living with this situation or condition, do you accept that person as he is? So we must accept all people, love them, provide maximum care, and make them not to feel bad. We have the issue of stigma. We have the issue of isolation. If we don't provide care before we know it, they are being withdrawn. And they will not see any need to keep on living. We want to provide hope for people.